Hey man, what are you here for?
Demon Eye. You?
Sledgehammer wounds.
What?
Long story.
God, Ryan, what did you eat?
What's wrong with it?
He fainted.
Why?
He saw some scrubs doing a commentary on Meta, and it was bad.
Josh Peck get gangabunged by hot, sexy foreplay.
You guys want to do a commentary on it?
Why not?
Sure.
I went to college!
For the love of God. Learn to mask! Learn to mask!
You could just feel the impact of his head slamming against the desk with all his might with the slow, gentle, floating animation. Also, someone explain to me what I'm looking at here. I see Wheatley and Josh Peck with the Maconis and the Monado as the backdrop.
Because God hates you.
Zanza.
Mimi.
Ruby!
Donkey!
So much to do, so much to see.
John, what are you doing?
Can't you tell? I'm awkwardly jumping up and down on two metal objects like a moron!
Oh god, what did he do this time?
Take a look.
Oh my fucking god.
Well, it's great to see your acting's just as good as your avatar choice.
You're doing this with me.
Hell no I'm not, I'm out of here. Did you just lock me in my room?
Uh-huh.
You're not going to let me out of this, are you?
Uh-uh.
Fine, let's just get on with this.
You can tell I don't like this by my extremely happy Josh Peck picture.
First, let's have a little history lesson. Meta was brought into this world on May 6, 2010. Or at least that's when his YouTube channel was made. However, I wouldn't be surprised if that was when he was born, too.
Oh, get wrecked!
Yeah, because it's not like his channel description outright says that this was a backup account for one that was terminated.
Please, never try funny. Just please, never try it.
Over the years, he's kind of become synonymous in the video making community as a bit of a twit. He constantly makes huge statements about video games that causes everyone in a 40-foot radius to punch themselves in the face.
And you'd think that after 5 fucking years of doing this, he'd be a bit better. But, no you.
You're dead to me! You hear me? Fucking dead!
If anything, he's gotten worse, because at least he didn't make broad statements when he first started. If only he'd kept that trend.
And if anything should tell you just how amazingly awful the video we're covering today is, then it is the fact that after only 2 days of it being up, Meta put the fact that it was a terrible video right in the title. You know, that thing that most people usually do after years.
Wait, if Meta himself said that his video was terrible and he outright disowns it, what is exactly the point of your video? I mean, if a person disowns their video to the point of putting their displeasure for the product in the title, you telling them that the video sucks afterwards seems a bit redundant.
But why didn't he just take the video down?
Well, honestly, if he's putting his displeasure for the product in the title, he wants to show that he has nothing to hide, and he probably finds taking down a video shameful. But either way, this question's kind of irrelevant to the main point. I mean, imagine if you spilled over a cup of coffee and you say, "Oh, that was my bad, sorry dude," and your friend responds with,
You fucking moron, it should have took you years to realize that you fucked up when you knocked over my coffee, you mark!
you'd find it rather annoying. Also, how is the time it took for him to notice his mistake relevant to the video in any way? Either way, he found it bad, and your video is ugh. Yo face.
But we've wasted enough time. It's time to travel into the Devil's Den and see if it's just how bad people are making it out to be.
Did you just say, let's see if it's just how bad people are making it out to be? Dude, either enunciate your words, or don't say words at all. Like, just stop speaking. Forever.
Spoiler, it is.
Let's take a look at Meta 527 Seconds Top 10 Killjoys.
Intro's playing. Still playing. Still playing. Still playing. How long is Meta's intro?
30 seconds. Fuck. Why didn't you cut out the intro or shorten it? So you can make a quip? Seriously? If you want to make a pot shot, make it and move on. Don't just show the whole fucking thing.
If there's anything to say how Meta has actually improved throughout the years, it's the fact that his editing has admittedly gotten better than it was. If only his logic had shared that same fate.
So why do you feel compelled to play Meta's entire countdown intro to make that one point? That point didn't need the other 25 seconds of his intro to get your point across.
These are killjoys, aka with the words kill and joys in them. Aka, if they play in an already bad moment, they don't count.
Okay, Meta, here's the thing. Considering how many other people have made these types of lists before, there's really no more need to explain what a killjoy is. We get it at this point. And even if you haven't, it's literally in the word.
This just came across as a point simply for the sake of making a point. And notice how you referenced the title of his video to make him look less credible when you, again, ignore the rest of the title showing that he had long since disowned the video. We get it at this point. The video is terrible. And even if we didn't, it's right there in the title.
He is mainly telling the audience a general idea of what he considers, or what is considered, a killjoy. Just because the name says a lot, it doesn't prevent him from giving a brief intro on the subject.
And remember that this is my list, not yours, so please respect that.
This is such a classic line in countdowns everywhere. The thing to
Give me that! I'm keeping this now.
The thing to understand is that people have the right to not respect your opinion. It's the reason that most actually choose not to say it anymore.
Even though Meta could have gone around that statement more tactfully, the statement still stands. This is his list. Not your list, not their list, not our list, his. He, terribly might I add, was saying that his opinion will differ from yours and the outcome will not be the same. He was stating that to clarify the point of the list. Adding that to the list will not kill it in the long run.
Adding on to this point, just because someone can disrespect the list, it doesn't mean they should. What you said is like if I held a gun in public because I have the right to bear arms. Sure, I can hold a gun, but that doesn't mean I always should.
German footage is the best. 10 out of 10. You are the greatest.
That's French, you fuck!
In all seriousness, I know that this might be my opinion alone, but I think Meta's transitions are kind of stupid. Sure, they're unique, but that doesn't automatically make them good.
Great! You know that unique doesn't automatically equal good. Now, why is it stupid? Are you expecting everyone who watches this to agree because of it?
If Quarter Guy and I don't like Shadow of the Colossus, and if we find it repetitive, we don't have to like the game.
Why are you bringing up Quarter Guy? He's not in this video, so it's like you're pinning a huge target on him.
Pinning a huge target? Quarter Guy's already made public statements about not liking Shadow of the Colossus. So if anything, Meta's just holding the target steady.
If this were a collab with him, I question why Adam would choose to do one with you of all people, but it'd be a bit more understandable. But since he's nowhere to be found, there's no point.
The point was to tell he is not the only one who feels this way. Now quit nitpicking!
But wait, why is there a killjoy on this list from Shadow of the Colossus if I didn't find much entertainment value with this game anyways? Simple. By the time I faced Bassaran, I hadn't lost interest in this game yet. At least not until right after the fight with him.
So, are you saying that you found the fight to be interesting? Because by the way you worded this, that's what you're saying.
Okay, while Meta isn't the best at wording, I can tell that what he said doesn't sound anything close to what you thought he said. The things I got from his wording was either that he had more interest in the game after the fight had ended, or that he had a lot of interest before the fight started and the fight ruined it. Given the top 10 topic, I'd assume it's the latter, but either way, he said nothing related to finding the boss interesting because that go against the entire idea of the list.
But I was already bored of the game way before I reached him.
If you were bored with the game, why did you keep playing? That makes no sense.
Because perhaps there's a point in the game that might make the experience far more exciting. Shadow of the Colossus in particular has a well-adored final boss, so maybe Meta wanted to fight that.
Also, why does it even matter? It doesn't affect his point in any way, and your counter-argument comes off as nothing but pointless at best, and you're dead to me.
Unlike in the rest of the game, this boss fight can last about a half an hour, which is way too long for a boss fight.
Don't you just love it when the person speaking suddenly gets quiet out of nowhere? I love it.
Don't you love it whenever you start bashing your head in with the ball-peen hammer and your toes start to go numb? Oh, sorry, I thought we were going on a tangent on irrelevant shit.
Oh, and to clarify, it could be considered irrelevant because not only does it have nothing to do with his point, the quote-unquote audio change was extremely minor. In fact, one could argue it was just him speaking quieter.
Sometimes when you try to switch to Valier form, Wisdom form, or Master form, it turns you into Anti-form instead. Anti-form is a massive killjoy because you can't heal yourself, and both your party members disappear no matter what form you attempted to switch to.
Anti-form seriously isn't that bad. Hell, it's better than your normal form and it still gets the job done.
You know what else gets the job done?
Erectile dysfunction?
Get out. Anyways, the other forms get the job done too, and even better. Plus, you don't choose to go into anti-form. It's chosen for you.
Just because Meta didn't explain himself well enough doesn't mean he is wrong. The anti-form, While increasing your speed and attacks against certain characters, it also makes you more sustainable to attacks, denies your ability to gather XP or health, and the damage you can take is doubled.
On beginner's mode, the majority of the fights were pushover anyways, and on proud mode, the game's bosses were hard even when I'm in the forms I need to level up in.
You just got totally off track. What does the difficulty of the game have to do with the anti-form being bad? Flawed logic is flawed.
Meta was explaining that anti-form was meant to balance the game from being too easy. But what's funny about that said explanation was that it was conveniently cut out by a pair of commentators who have no idea what they're doing. Good work.
And besides, I am capable of stalling out the battle before I return to normal, because anti-form gives you a lot of speed and airtime, so I can just keep jumping and running around to avoid the battle while the form runs out.
Wait, if you just said that it was easy to get rid of, why do you hate it so much? How is this worse than a boss that actually has some issues with it? I don't understand.
He's not saying that it's necessarily worse, but that it's a bigger killjoy. He explained this earlier in his Colossus example in the number 10 segment. It's worse, but it's not a killjoy because it didn't kill his joy as much as Bassaran did. And even if he can get rid of anti-form easily, it's still there and can still be a killjoy. Quit your nitpicking. Or this commentary, either one works for me.
In fact, I could support Meta's argument even more, because since the anti-form sucks, along with the fact it's easier to avoid, that could make it more frustrating because not only is it a killjoy aspect, it's a killjoy aspect that's arguably worthless!
But, Ryan, it's Meta. He's always wrong.
No, Caden, you're wrong!
But I only have $7!
R.I.P. R.I.P.
That is why I hate the anti-form so much. Thank goodness it doesn't kick in when switching to final form.
Once again, you're saying a reason that it's good. I get that you want to make a fair analysis, but if you're specifically talking about why it's bad, you should probably just state the bad things about it.
Okay, Blackish, who are you to tell Meta what he should be focusing on, quote-unquote? It's not like this is a commentary where focusing on the negatives are the point. If he wants to point out a positive, he has the right to.
Oh, and the kicker to this? Didn't you point out a positive at the very beginning of your commentary?
His editing has admittedly gotten better than it was.
Yeah, because that totally makes sense!
And we're going to skip number 8 on the Chaos Emerald missions from Sonic Advance 3 because they do suck, but there is one thing to say about it. Why didn't you complain about the red rings from a bunch of 3D Sonic games? Were those not as bad? Explain, Meta!
Well, are they? Maybe that's why he didn't bring them up. Maybe he thought that the Chaos Emerald missions are worse than the Red Ring missions.
Also, this is his list, not yours. He can choose whatever he wants to put on this list because it's
an opinion
his!
list.
What's done here? Wandering around aimlessly through a nearly pitch black level.
Doesn't look so pitch black to me. Looks almost like you can see everything around you. But no, that must just be me.
And the very next line, Meta says,
At the beginning it's not too bad, but when you get to the kelp lake, there's way too much leaf jumping to do on it, where the leaves completely blend in with the water, and you won't see where you're going to land until you drown.
and this is why you pay attention to the video. Dweebs.
I swear, 6 or 7 more times, I'll snap.
The leaves don't look too blended in with the water. Sure, there is way too much blue, so it does kind of mess with depth perception, but there is very obviously a difference between the blue water and green kelp.
So you admit the abundance of dark blue messes with the depth perception. That could very well be the reason why it's hard for Meta to see where he's going to land, cause depth perception is a lot more important in 3D platforming than you might think. And no, there isn't an obvious difference. The kelp is dark green to the point where it almost looks black, and I had to get close to my screen in order to see that it's green in the first place. You know what blends in with dark colors? Dark colors.
Kelp caves are darker, there's a lot of ledges that you won't see before you fall down them and are forced to climb all the way back up.
Once again, you must be blind or something. This looks perfectly lit to me. Not well lit, mind you, but still visible. Meta, I think you might need glasses.
Not very well lit. Wow, it's almost like that's exactly what Meta was talking about! Nah, that would be silly!
In this one, however, that stuff isn't here. And don't get me started on the stupid music.
The stupid music? I know that it might be up to interpretation, but I actually like the way it sounds. It's really catchy and was the same music used in the Crystal Cave race, which you just said was better.
So, in other words, no you.
My line!
Too bad, they're already using a game I like as a backdrop, so none of us can have nice things.
Oh boy. Anyways, man never said that the music was better in the Crystal Cave race, so bringing up the music proves nothing. Speaking of, Giving your opinions on the song also proves nothing. It's just shoving your opinions in an area that's unfit.
Also going at a line that is strictly subjective. I'm gonna lose it. I swear, I'm gonna lose it.
Slow portions of platforming games are normally tons of fun, but this one isn't.
Where? When? I want a specific example of how slow portions in platformers are fun. I usually find them to be boring. Oh, but what do I know?
Okay, one, why does he have to give examples of games that had fun, slow-paced moments in them? The only reason you brought up as for why he should give examples was because you personally find them boring, and fun fact, no, that's not how that works. And two, yeah, sure, bringing up your own countdowns to quote-unquote support your point is totally relevant, and not just you finding an excuse to go, look, I totally know what I'm talking about, guys! Also, please go watch my countdown, guys. I need the money. It was either countdowns or the busboy at Starbucks. Trademarked.
To win, beat the beetle in a race and get 50 coins. This might not have been so bad if this overgrown pest didn't maliciously try to ram you to make you lose coins.
Why wouldn't he run into you? If not, it would be way too easy. But then Meta wouldn't have something to bitch about. Oh, who am I kidding? If he did knock into you, he'd probably complain about it being too easy.
The difficulty could come not in the beetle being an asshole and ramming into you to lose coins, but by the level design and the beetle's speed.
And if you fall off, let him beat you, or don't get enough coins, he deliberately mocks you for it.
What, is he supposed to just not say anything? He's already been proving to be a cocky character, so this totally makes sense.
Imagine you own a dog. Now imagine that dog is run over by a car and dies. You can understand why it died, because it was just fucking ran over, but that still make you unhappy. How does saying that it makes sense prove Meta wrong? It doesn't. It just results in more dead dogs.
Just to add to Meta's point, if you are constantly being bombarded by a beetle that is annoying to the point of anger, and adding the fact that the level design being slightly broken could be a factor of why this is on the list, I can honestly say that the banter would be a middle finger to send someone over the edge.
Now if you excuse me, I'll have to run to the store and buy a few gallons of insecticide spray. Wait, I can't go anywhere until I finish this list? Fine. I'll get on with the top 5. The ones that give me a major headache just thinking about them.
Now if you'll excuse me, I'm going to get some Mountain Dew. Wait, what? I can't leave until I finish the commentary? Fine, we'll get on with the last 5. The ones that really give me a headache.
Ugh!
Meta's unfunny. Now excuse us while we copy a joke that he just made. Not only that, let's make our acting just as bad, and have that acting be on the same level as the rest of our commentary. Flawless.
God kill me.
And here we have a good candidate for most infamous moment in the game.
Finding General White.
I'm just gonna say this and assume that everyone knows what I'm talking about.
And I can't use Yoshi to get there faster since this overgrown sheep stole my friends.
Overgrown sheep? That's the best insult since Green Doofus.
You literally copied Meta's humor 15 seconds ago, and now you're making fun of it again.
Huh!
And if you want to show character development, you have to have them slowly start to understand Vivian's pain before... Oh, sorry. Got off track.
Oh, you did? I didn't notice.
Excuse me, good sir. I seem to have misplaced the substance of that statement. Do you mind forming coherent thought?
You're back at Twilight Town, and I'll admit, you get an awesome party member. Too bad you have to go back on that trail, back to Creepy Steeple.
Wow, he's really playing up this trail thing for something that takes a grand total of 3 screens to get through. But no, you're right, this is way worse than trying to find General White.
Want to get those who haven't played 1,000 Year Door to side with you? Tell them why it's worse. Even then, again, killjoy. Better or worse, this killed Meta's joy more than this situation, General White.
If you remove both the uppercase P and the lowercase p, this mission would still be tedious, but at least his comment about me guessing his name was Dupless wouldn't be as infuriating or insulting.
It was a joke!
Not only was the way you delivered that joke poor, given that the pauses between each word was too spaced out, but the editing was so bad that I can only describe both these factors as you being a major tryhard.
But it was a joke! How dare you!
He flees the Creepy Steeple, and you know what that means? More backtracking! The boss fight itself isn't half bad, but why did the developers think this would be a good idea?
Because it was a good idea. It's the second best chapter in the game, right behind the Mystery Train one.
Explanations on why it's a good idea? Fuck that. This is meta, and everything about his list is shit. We could say anything at face value and it'd be correct because it's a commentary on meta. You know what, guys? I think you're doing this all wrong. We shouldn't be giving reasons on why somebody is wrong or listening to the full statement. We should just point out bullshit every 5 seconds and not back up our claims. This is a great idea! No, you. No, you. No, you! No, you! No! Joshie, goodness!
Are you feeling better, honey bun?
I won't feel pleasant visit my kindergarten class. I want to become a fireman, Daddy.
You'd better make a remake of it and fix the backtracking issue.
Yes, that's the reason a great game like Thousand Year Door needs a remake. Because of something that takes like 20 minutes. Yup.
You know, if I could just go on a quick tangent real quick, I'd just like to say, he never said that that was the reason it should be remade. Just that it would be the one thing that they could fix. Even then, he said the backtracking issues in general were something that they could fix, not just a specific segment. So you missed the point on 2 levels.
And to think, Dupless has the audacity to call us the killjoys.
You're a killjoy meta.
Did you just seriously make a no-you statement? No, CP, not you too!
The worst parts of the game for me would either be the intro, which doesn't even count because even though it's atrocious, it doesn't count as a killjoy since it's before the game even starts.
I want you to remember that point.
No, I'm tired. My feet hurt. You suck. My point in life is meaningless. The sandwich has no ham. Ryan's most likely not going to pay attention to the end of this. He's most likely going to cut out halfway through.
And they were so lazy that they reused the same build-up cutscene to the original final boss.
Reused is the wrong word. It's more of a remaster. I'm not saying the boss is good. Hell, it's awful. But get your terms right, man.
Calm down, Caden. Happy thoughts. Happy thoughts.
Oh, okay, Caden. Calm down. Calm down, buddy. Just think of... Wait. The fuck does he like?
Porn?
Okay, porn. Just think of porn. Go figure.
The second phase is probably the biggest disgrace to a boss I've ever seen. Instead of looking intimidating like the original game, he looks like an overgrown twit. The shading on him is really bad.
Does the shading look worse than the original? If not, then you really shouldn't be complaining.
Even if the original shading was worse, why can't he complain about it at this point? The only problem that should arise from this is if it doesn't contribute to how it kills his joy.
Baby Bowser in this game is a huge insult to an awesome boss. I still love the original final boss, but I would have loved it more if this boss didn't insult it.
You keep saying that this boss insulted the old one. It doesn't. It's just kind of a butchering of the original, but it's not calling it an asshole or anything. And besides that, dude, get a fucking thesaurus.
He was making an analogy. A rather common one in the context of lists like these.
Taking that seriously is like if I decided to make a comment comparing Ryan to Hitler and people believing me.
Mein Führer! I am mein Führer! And you will invade Poland and commit the mass genocide! What?
Believe it or not, there's another boss right after Baby Bowser, where you'll fight future Bowser. That fight is also terrible, but more tolerable than the fight with the Baby Bowser fight because there's some intensity to that.
And hey, at least he doesn't insult the original.
Stop
right?
it.
The gamer stage is my most hated stage in the entire game.
Oh god, he's serious.
What makes me hate the stage so much is that mom! There are 2 problems with that. First off, the fact that your mom is the stage hazard? I don't care if it's based off a Game & Wario minigame. Making your mother a stage hazard in a fighting game? That's stupid!
Yes, because this, where an Italian plumber is fighting a pink puffball, is clearly where stupid things aren't going to happen. This is the most realistic game ever. That's why it was rated adult only.
He was not complaining about it being realistic. He was about to explain that the hazard can be annoying to deal with. You would have known that if you paid attention.
But it's meta!
But just not
again!
But as a stage hazard, she's annoying as heck. And sometimes she appears when you're not ready for it. I mean, how are we supposed to know that she can pop out of the TV?
First, there are some warnings. With the doorknob shaking, and you know that she can pop out of the TV if you played the original WarioWare game, and if you see the mother appear in it a full 3 seconds before.
You expect anyone to see the doorknob when they're trying to not get hit by literally everyone and their mom? Tunnel vision. It's a thing.
I guess by your logic, if you played Earthbound, then you should have totally remembered the part where the Runaway 5 have a reckless driver.
Oh, I remember that part.
You guys saw that, he jumped right in front of me!
With this, on the other hand, it can not only happen out of nowhere, but even when you're safe, there's almost no room to fight sometimes. This is even worse in the Past Your Bedtime event match, where you have to get Ness, Bowser Jr., and Toon Link all to fall asleep at the same time, but it's really hard to when that mom keeps interfering.
So put the stages in Omega mode. You know that you can do that in event matches, right? I mean, that's common knowledge.
What a crock of shit. No, it's not common knowledge. I, and many others, went through the entirety of Event Mode without being able to switch the forms of the stages. That's because you can't do that! Even then, single Mega Forms exist doesn't mean he can't complain about something that's in the fucking game. An obstacle that, should he ever play the stage normally, he'll have to deal with.
I don't care if you people like it. Just because you think it's funny doesn't mean I automatically have to agree with your opinion. Remember, this is my list, my opinion, so learn to respect that.
And here we see classic Meta, always thinking everyone is out to get him, even his fan base.
Given that he used to be a popular target for relentless commentators back in the day, I could see how he'd think that people would be out to get him. This video is pretty much proof alone. Also, it's old news, but classic Meta used to constantly message certain commentators with requests. That's not paranoia, that's obsession. He didn't really get paranoid until those said commentators stopped responding to him.
Also, how ironic is it that you just said you don't have to agree with our opinions, but we should respect yours? Where's the logic in that?
Pointing out Meta's paranoia on people getting after him, while going after him yourselves. Jesus, you guys might be easier to riff on than Meta.
You don't have to agree with an opinion to respect it. Please tell me how this is ironic or I am going to scream. Again.
The only time I will ever play on the stage is if it's in Omega form. And, let's face it, every stage has an Omega form.
Wait, so if you even mention that you can put it in Omega mode, then what is the issue here? Or is hitting X too much for you to handle?
He never implied that. In fact, the whole Omega form point makes Meta more in the right more than it does you. If he has to go to Omega to avoid the stage he finds annoying, that would actually prove his point further. To add on to that, you don't always have the choice to go to Omega. You can't at Classic, you can in Smash Tourneys, etc., etc.
We should have gotten a stage from the Wario World rather than this. I know that Game & Wario was more recent, but I'd rather have a Wario World stage than this.
But we didn't. Put it in Omega mode.
Shut up.
Also, I'm pretty sure that Nintendo's forgotten about the Wario game from 2 console generations ago.
Which is why Smash Bros. Has tons of stages revolving around NES games, right?
And also why Kid Icarus came back after 20 years of not having a game. Also, Punch-Out! Also, to a lesser extent, Balloon Fighter! Yeah, you're really helping your point now.
What the? Hey, idiot! You can let go, you realize that?
Hey idiot, it's a game. You realize that?
Hey idiot, he was trying to explain what was going through his mind at the time.
Okay guys, serious talk, no modding.
No. Well, they should land on the ground soon enough. They're not going to land, are they?
Nope, what a funny, lighthearted...
Why did you make this idiotic excuse of an ending?
Or you can go that route.
It's so bad that it doesn't even deserve to have music from Chrono Trigger playing in the background, so I'm using a different song.
Are you serious?
As serious as you using only the top half of Josh Peck's head.
Help me!
I'm glad there are multiple different possible endings, but this is hands down the worst ending. Chrono and Merle just got stuck to balloons, and they are never seen landing, so we can assume that they'll never get back to Earth, and we're supposed to find that funny.
Meta, stop yelling, please. This video is at the lowest it can go, and it's still giving me a headache.
Too easy.
I'm pretty sure it would take way more balloons than that to carry those two away.
It's a video game, and this is the same game that has time travelers and talking frogs. Are you really trying to tell me that this needs to be more logical?
Oh my god. He actually made a decent point. Well, better play something to commemorate. Now what music to play? No, too easy. So is that... Perfect!
The helium doesn't leak out of the balloons, they carry them into space. There's nothing funny about watching Chrono and Merle get carried into space, you know, where there's no oxygen and where they'll suffocate to death. Did they even think about that?
I legitimately want someone to make an animation of them suffocating in space just to piss off Meta. Will someone please make that happen? Because I would seriously give someone money to do that.
I don't even know why I try anymore.
These two saved the entire world, and this is the things that they deserve?
If you looked up oblivious in the dictionary, I'm fairly certain a picture of Meta would be there to greet you.
And if you look up debauchery in the dictionary, you get, oh! Oh my, no! That is gross! That is illegal in at least 20 countries! Seriously though, we get the point. Meta is dumb. Shut up! You're not combating his point, you're bringing up something already stated.
This is hands down the most mean-spirited ending cutscene to any video game ever.
You know, just saying.
Yeah, but that ending's only done after the mostly conscious effort of not saving at least 50 Mudokons. Yes, the balloon ending in Chrono Trigger is also after a conscious effort of reaching Lavos with the winged Epoch, but regardless of the ending in Chrono Trigger, you're still saving the world. In Abe's Odyssey, part of the goal of the game is to save the Mudokons. That ending could be considered the worst ending because it's an ending that's supposed to punish you. That's the point!
There's nothing funny about watching two good guys get taken from the planet forever and suffocating to death. You can't just be like, hey, Chronon Morrow-fans, two of your favorite characters are about to suffocate to death. Laugh now or else.
There's absolutely no evidence of them dying, dude. In fact, you can see them moving around in the footage that you've got playing. Why don't you actually watch your footage before claiming something?
Man, I love those space clouds. They sure do make me wonder about science. Or, you know, if they might not actually be in space.
Hey, nerd! He was saying they'd get to space eventually! Sure, he has no evidence, but it's safe to assume that if an object is going in an upward direction, it will at some point reach space!
Wait, why does this count as a killjoy? I didn't say that they had to be gameplay only. It has the words kill and joy in it, and it kills my joy, so there!
Okay, remember that thing that John told you to remember?
So Meta, I propose this question to you. If it didn't have to be gameplay related, then why the hell couldn't you include the intro to Yoshi's New Island? After all, it kills your joy, so there!
The beginning of Yoshi's New Island is, as should be expected, the beginning of the game. There's no joy to really kill at the beginning of the game. But let's pretend there was somehow joy to have before then. The Baby Bowser fight could still be a greater killjoy. He never said to begin with a bigger killjoy, just that it was a bad part of the game, like with the final boss.
And when compared to the scenario Meta brought up, it happened as an ending, aka not the beginning of the game. What you're doing is comparing apples to oranges, you Indonesian paintbrush.
Oh, John, I think you're expecting way too much from him.
Yeah, you're probably right. This is Meta we're talking about.
No!
This should be an
No!
emotionally
That is
satisfying
my line!
But it's even worse than the old projector ending. I'd rather have a low-quality and anticlimactic ending than a horribly mean-spirited and unbelievably stupid ending.
I wouldn't. In fact, I don't think anyone would. What if at the end of Bloodborne, suddenly the game dropped to 10 FPS and pixelated, and you couldn't tell what the hell was going on? Nah, but that's better than the mean-spirited ending of the game.
That's not what he meant by low quality. He means an anticlimactic and/or boring ending. You know, like pretty much every old-school Nintendo game. He didn't mean one where you can't see shit. Resolution does not equal quality.
Chrono Trigger is still an epic game, but this moment right here is so atrocious that it makes me forget about all the amazing times I had with Chrono Trigger.
Well, then you're an idiot. Simple as that.
You fools. What have you done? Look! Look at what
Look
you
at it!
Hey guys, you know the Wi-Fi password? You guys haven't seen?
Bomb shelter, now!
Damn it. Every time I try to do something, bomb shelter, shit!
Alright, now let's suffer through another one of Meta's recaps.
Oh my god.
He finally listened. Finally, Meta has stopped doing recaps in the 2015 countdown. Well, maybe he has improved. But if number one is to speak for anything, he certainly hasn't.
So we've seen a very poorly designed control stick wiggler, a diseased to level grinders, a minigame with horrible controls, an incredibly dark forest, a sliding game with potential that I just threw out the window.
Oh, so he did include the recap just in the segment. God damn it, Meta, I had actually had a little faith in you for a moment.
He was listing off his grievances on the other ones to give an idea on how bad this might be. He's not recapping for the people who forgot, he was explaining why. In his eyes, this will take the cake. Jesus never interrupted people. Why the fuck are you doing it?
With number one, on the other hand, there is no excuse. I repeat, no excuse for it.
Wow, it really must be awful. What is it?
Holy
That's
shit,
part
the
of Final
irony
Fantasy
with that picture.
Keep getting fished.
You have got to be kidding me.
No, he's not.
You'd expect something big after surviving the apocalypse. So what do we do after that? We play as Celeste and keep going to the shore to get fish and bringing them back to her grandfather. Do you see what is wrong with this? We're forced to constantly go back and forth between the beach and the house in order to do this.
Oh no, it really is such a fucking bother to go back and forth between a couple of screens to keep the person who raised you and was like a father to you alive. Why, that's ridiculous. He can die for all I care. Why should I help him? I'm done, Meta. I'm fucking done. You did it to me.
Even if it's not that long, tediousness is still tedious. That would kill the hell out of the pacing, wouldn't it? Once you kill the momentum of a story, it doesn't matter if you have Jesus riding a unicorn holding a flaming sword. The ending can lose some of its weight to someone like Meta.
Especially since Meta goes on to say the scene following this tedium was one of the more emotional scenes in the game. Having such a tedious moment kill the momentum could easily cause that scene to lose some of its weight to someone because, fun fact, being tedious is a bad thing and it usually annoys people.
There is literally nothing else to it, except for how you should go for the faster ones and ignore the slower ones, for they'll make his illness worse. I wouldn't mind that, but this goes on for about half an hour of nothing but going back and forth between the beach and the house!
You're a dirty liar, Meta. This takes all of 5 minutes. Maybe 10 if you take a while, but half an hour? Are you pulling these facts out of your ass? I mean, come on!
To be fair to Meta, the fishing segment can take up to half an hour. It just requires the player to not know what they're doing. Point is, Meta, get good.
And every time you walk back into the house, you have to wait for him to get into bed before you can feed him the fish.
Oh no, who knows what you could have done with those extra 2 seconds? Mercy is me!
Sid has a counter where he has to have a certain amount of, I guess we could say HP. This HP can be raised by collecting faster fish, but for every second that passes, he loses 1 HP. This makes the situation one where every second counts, so the fact that Meta has to wait a few seconds for Sid to get back into bed so he can feed him the fish can be infuriating, since Sid is wasting time that could be spent on saving him.
It may not be a really big thing, certainly as big as Meta's making it out to be, but it's still dumb. I mean, why does Sid have to get out of bed every time you leave? Was this a programming mistake or what? I mean, look at him! Who gets out of bed just to get back into bed if they're sick? This can actually be slightly bothersome if the counter runs out specifically when Sid needs to get back in bed.
If anything, it completely ruined the mood. I literally kept asking myself, when is this going to end?
After 5 minutes. You must have the patience of a goldfish.
See what he did there, guys? Eh? Eh?
Ricky. He's already dead.
It was such a good show, man. Why'd they have to kill it?
What's the point of this? It won't change up the gameplay in any way whether you keep him alive or kill him off.
Not true. If you keep him alive, you get access to his flying ship in later portions of the game, which is immensely helpful near the end. Once again, man, do your research.
So she decides to throw herself off a cliff. It's just so depressing to watch. They showed something this sad in an NES game.
Final Fantasy VI is a Super Nintendo game. This is one of the most long segments to any countdown I've ever seen, and we're not even done.
Okay, guys, can I get your opinion on something? On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely is it that Meta meant to say SNES but just slipped up a bit?
Potato.
Quite.
Luckily, she survives and finds out that her friends are still alive out there, so she uses the raft to get back to the remains of the world and search for her missing friends. This is a primary example of how to portray suicide correctly in media.
Oh my god! You serious?
Wait, hold on. Where have I heard that joke before?
You serious?
Oh.
Yes, let's just laugh and laugh and laugh and not try and counter Meta's statement in the slightest and laugh and...
This is actually a popular opinion on the scene, that it's a good example of portraying suicide. Why are we laughing? Because it's
No! But seriously, I don't see what's wrong with his statement. Was it because he worded something wrong? Does he have something on his nose? Is he wrong? You fail to explain how he is wrong, so I'm having an extreme issue following you on this one.
Why are you guys not laughing?
Because it's Meta?
Oh.
He gets away with it! Fuck you, Ricky!
And that actually makes me hate this fishing mission even more. It is the deciding factor of whether you get to witness the emotional scene within the context of the game or not. I, not knowing that this was the deciding factor, wanted to save him because I didn't want to feel like a soulless backstabber. If they had just skipped the fishing part and had Celise's grandfather die no matter what happens, this would be more understandable.
But then you wouldn't have the choice. That's what actually makes this scene good. Because you're desperately trying to keep a loved one alive, there's so much emotion involved in this.
Also, there's a simple fact that you can actually keep Sid alive. It's not a choice, it's a goal.
But no! Instead, we get the most repetitive instance in any video game I've ever played, making it my #1 biggest killjoy.
So, Scotty, final thoughts?
I wish I were dead.
So do I. Actual thoughts?
How do you fuck up a commentary on meta? Especially one that got notoriety so quickly for being absolute shit? Don't get me wrong, if we wanted to, we could absolutely do a commentary on meta's list and bring up more problems, actual problems too, than what you brought up. What you did was insult meta, add in opinion pieces that weren't needed, and just generally speaking try to prove him wrong with statements that are irrelevant to proving him wrong.
This whole video just reeks of a commentary for the sake of a commentary. Nothing else. You added absolutely nothing to the meta bandwagon and just nitpicked the shit out of the original video, hoping that it would fly with everybody simply for being a video about bashing meta. Because he's never right about anything. This video is pretty much an embodiment of the old saying, "Am I cool yet, guys?"
I don't want to have my children. I killed my wife and she is dead. Mom never let me and I didn't ever get a Sega Genesis. Blackish Butler gives me indigestion. Instead of Sparta, I know you're better than this. I know! Everything was so repetitive and painful and my neck hurts. Carl?
When I grow up, I want to die faster than this did. Your jokes are contrived, your points pointless, and worst of all, you insisted on interrupting him in the middle of every statement. I know, you wanted to secure your opinion on the idea at hand, but you did something special. You made points that made his more concrete. But trying to make pavement on sand just means everything will fall through. I get it. You don't like meta, but that is not a reason to make a video. If you disagree with him, fine. But next time, bring something up. If we took a shot every time you brought something of substance up, we would still be sober. I swear to God, I can't take it anymore. I might just destroy everything.
Congratulations! 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 Congratulations!
Congratulations.
Congratulations!
Congratulations. 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 Congratulations.
Congratulations!
Congratulations.
Guys, I think he's dead.
He has no style. He has no grace. This Kong has a funny face.
So, who's the nurse anyways?
Oh, Ricky!
Jen? You can't hurt me anymore. I have this now.
Congratulations!
Inflate himself, just like a balloon. This crazy Kong just digs his tune.